video log. I'm driving to Palos Verdes right now. I think it's February 2nd? Wednesday. February 2nd. Yeah, I believe it is. It's been kind of crazy lately. I haven't done some vlog in a while, so since every Wednesday I drive over here to Maddie and Hattie's handpan lesson, or Maddie's handpan lesson. I have a little bit of time to think, and actually I kind of wanted to put my thoughts down right now. This year I've been I've been working on living life like music, and just really thinking about it and actually doing it as much as I can. I know last year I talked about this, like, what would I say to people? What would be my advice? And it would be live life like music. And now I just want to show what that looks like. It's kind of crazy. Actually, lately I've been like really thinking about it, so it's kind of been like, I don't know, polarizing a little bit, because I'm like seeing a lot of things and it's making me research kind of a lot of stuff. And actually, thinking about it, like being self-aware. I've been thinking about that a lot, being self-aware. I think that question came up. And I've just been thinking about that, because living life like music is being like self-aware of yourself. I think that's the beginning. And then what to do after that is what I'm working on. Kind of understand it. It's just I've never really thought about things in life on how I'm doing it. I don't know, a lot of us don't. Like, I think we're on like autopilot or something like that. But for a long time I think I've just been lucky or blessed or whatever that I've gotten to where I am today, because not a lot of people feel the same way. It's kind of crazy. But I guess in this search, especially, like, it's weird on music, like starting to play ukulele and then learning about music and learning about what it really is. It's kind of trippy. And living life like music, it just makes sense. It's just, how do you do it in today's environment? It's kind of crazy. It's almost like a balancing act or it feels like a balancing act between the reality that we live on today versus what we actually should be doing. It's kind of crazy. Sounds like stoner talk, but for real, like, I've been really thinking about that, like, questions, living, now, and reminiscing on 50, and like, it feels like, I don't know, whatever. I guess this is like the midlife crisis, just thinking back on life. All I've learned is that I don't know anything, and it just brought up more questions. And and these questions that came up kind of make sense on the answers that I've been coming up with, and I want to explore it more. I guess that's what we're here to do, right? And it's kind of been a struggle, because when you're changing, I guess, and you're changing your, I want to call it your like internal programming, because you're kind of like a computer. I've been seeing this more and more. Like, even though like we've created computers, it's kind of how we think, because that's how we think. I guess the makers making a computer, that's basically how we think, like our brain works. It's like weird, because we made it. But anyways, like, it's like we're programmed. The question came up is, actually, first it was, we are programmed, and I think we know this, like, from childhood, whatever environment that you're actually in, you're programmed to that environment, or whatever they're teaching you at that time. And with all like the different things like politics, media, everything, and then you usually we go on autopilot. One crazy thing that happened was, I have a student, and I asked the question, like, playing ukulele, and she kind of like was stressed out about school, and she's going into high school, 8th grade. And I saw the stress in her, and I was wondering, I was like, wow, she's really stressed out in the school. And then one thing she said that she was preparing, all this preparation for, school. And then my question was, do you know what you're preparing yourself for? And actually, that was a crazy question because it gets into education and all this other stuff. But yeah, we've been programmed. And what I found, the answer was kind of crazy, because I asked this question to a teacher. I go, where? When did the education system, this is the question that came in my mind, when did the education system start and why? And then she goes, the teacher said that, I go, do you know? And she's like, yeah, actually it's in the 1900s, because when the turn of the century, I guess, they had industries that needed workers, so they basically needed to train their workers. That's what it was. And before, it was school that was only for people that could afford it, I think. And then they opened it up and made it like public to everybody, which is kind of crazy. I haven't really studied it, but that's what she told me. But it makes sense. So basically, school, and I've heard this before, like, school is preparing you to work at a job. Hence that back then they had the bell system, which is still prominent today in the schools. It's on a bell system. Ring, and you change. Industry used to be like that, or I think, shift work is like that. It's kind of crazy. But my point is, it's like being self-aware of all of this stuff. Now what do you do? Because it's almost like, I feel like, I don't know, even though I'm in a good place, but everything that you do currently is almost kind of like a lie, or like the goals, not like a lie, but it's not what we're supposed to be doing. I feel we should be doing more, or doing something more. But I think, like, for me right now, in this point, is just making myself better in it. I think, or just making myself better. I think playing an instrument, that gets you really in tune with your body. Like, because you have to understand, like, how your fingers work, and pretty soon if you sing or anything like that, like, I'm working on my breath work so I can sing better. Things like that, but you're in tune with your body, because your body's the instrument. It's not the actual instrument. It's you that is the music instrument. So being self-aware is pretty interesting. What do you do when you do it? When you find out? It's not, it almost feels like, I wish it was like the Matrix, like someone goes, hey, this is what you need to do. Because that's what it kind of, like, living life currently in this society, it's like, it's a trip, because it's really, I know, like, money controls a lot of the things that you do, but should it be that way? That's my question, because usually when you add money to a decision, it's based on the money, not what you actually want to do or the actual solution. It's kind of trippy thinking about that. I don't know. And money is not really real in today's society, which is kind of crazy. So I don't know. It's my babble. I'm just sitting here like I always. It's funny because, like, I always have these thoughts, but I never, like, sometimes I forget them, and and then they come back. But I kind of want to, like, log it down, because I don't want to forget this. I'm really exploring, basically being a self-explorer. Not only contemplating these questions, but actually living it. Which is, I think, is cool. Like, exploring, like, okay, this question, how does that work in life? Things like that. And I think the answers are kind of crazy. It's like weird. It's weird if you can do it though. It's like total change. I was talking to Kaylee today. We were hanging out. I was helping her with her laundry. It's so funny. But we had, I don't know, we were just talking about this. It's kind of weird when people like change their paradoxes or whatever. Kaylee's come to that like kind of quick. It's like cool. It's like super cool. But I think that's just the maturity. I'm trying to think back when I was that age and when I was thinking, and it's kind of trippy time. But yeah, the search for the sound, living life like music is making more sense. I'm just trying to come up with like practical uses and stuff like that, like to actually live life like music. It's kind of like feeling your way through life. Dave actually was talking about, he goes, yeah, Daniel, you're talking about like, how music could be living your life like music, and then he was talking about the rhythm of life, like literally, you've heard this, like there's a rhythm of life, but there is a rhythm of life. And he I gotta ask him again what he said, but he made it make sense. He was making sense to himself, which made sense to, like why this is important in people's lives, because, I think that's what it is. It's like we're off track. We're not in the groove, or we're not in harmony, because we're not in touch with our music, and that's where we need to be. And once that happens, everything kind of changes. It's like weird. I don't know. I feel that, and I like, actually, it's been very interesting lately because it seems like it's fast forwarding for me. Since last year, since I was on the sound journey, now everything that, the people I've talked to, the information that I got is like, it's coming fast forward. It's like super crazy. Like I'm meeting all these people that vibe with me. It's like living life like music is just flowing, and like you feel their vibration. It's weird, and they can feel you. I can feel them. Like it's super trip. Like this week I got a massage. This was crazy, and this happens to me a lot. It's trippy, and I think that's when you open up and you're vibrating and you're just like exploring life. People can see that. But yeah, she goes, like, I went for a massage, and actually this is where Kaylee used to work at her acupuncture place, and Kaylee got us a massage with her and told us that she was super cool, and we're like, oh yeah, and so we went, and when I got there, I was sitting there waiting, and she actually said hi to me. She goes, hey, hi, and I was just sitting there. And I had a feeling, it was funny because I had a feeling that was her, that was my massage. I didn't know it was her at the time, but then she called my name, and we went in there, and she goes, you know what? First thing she said to me, you have a good energy. And I'm like, whoa. And I've been lately, people have been telling me this. It's like kind of crazy, but it makes me feel weird. I don't know. But yeah, they've been telling me like, I'm glowing, or they say something like that, and it's just random different people, my friends, and yeah, it's kind of trippy. I don't know. I think there's like that saying when I've heard this saying before: set yourself on fire and people will come to watch you burn. What that means is like I think it means your vibration. Like when you're excited about life and just full of life or music, I would say. Then your cells sing. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Actually, the thought just came to my head because your cells vibrate. Your body cells vibrate. Okay, and this is what I've heard. I think there's a study on it or something like that, but that's where I saw it. Like there was an article, and it talks about your cells vibrating. But so if your cells vibrate, they have a frequency, that means you can harmonize with it. Also, you can be dissonant with it. So interesting. Or disease. So harmony, if you're in harmony, your cells are always good. If you're dissonant, it's like off. So because you don't know your music. Oh, so fucking interesting. Wow. Well, that was a good talk. I'm here, and I'm gonna get out, and Tim's here, and I'm about to play some Happy. This is gonna be fun. Alrighty, guys. Alrighty, Daniel. Later.